OP here again. Man, security pastas are especially spooked to me. I'm a full-time security guard, overnight. I've been working at a facility in the middle of nowhere recently on a shift that's 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. I've heard and seen some strange things, such as just about every single door in the facility is alarm set. If you open the door without a key card, it sets off an extremely loud alarm. However, the doors aren't locked, just set by an alarm. At random points in the night, motion detecting lights will trigger in rooms I'm nowhere near. Occasionally, a door alarm will go off somewhere deep in the facility, and I'm the only one supposed to be in the entire building. Upon executing a patrol, no evidence of a person being around is found, but various sounds will be heard all around me. Continuing with more stories, because why not? This particular building is a supplement manufacturing facility, meaning it makes those bullshit pills and bottles you'll see at the store for $20 plus. It's huge, has 2 floors, and is set into many different parts. Firstly, you have a lobby that includes a staircase, a door that heads into the manufacturing portion of the building, and a door across the room on a side wall that leads into the warehouse portion. Another opening in the lobby leads to what's considered a conference room. In this large open room on the wall closest to the opening portion is a large metal door with opaque glass window that leads to a test kitchen. This will come into play later on. Usually the guard, my company is cheap, the client is cheaper, so there's 1 guard per 12-hour shift, will sit in a security office room that's pretty small in south end of the building, among the manufacturing area. But due to the virus, and my state being an epidemic area, they have us instead out in the lobby, taking temperatures and screening the few employees that come in. The conference room has windows on almost every wall, except for the wall that has the doorway leading to the test kitchen and has no automatic lights. One night, I was having a hard time staying awake. Watching shit on my laptop and drinking energy drinks did nothing. We have to stay at the guard table. And I was startled by a muffled bang coming from the conference room. No door alarms were set off, and no one was in the test kitchen at any point. When I went to look, the light in the test kitchen was on, and through the opaque glass, I could vaguely see a figure standing right up against the door, standing extremely still. Looking at this gave me a feeling of fear and dread, and I couldn't stop staring at it. For the next 4 hours I was on edge, occasionally looking to see the figure still standing at the window, until around 5 a.m., when light began seeping into the facility. I went in to look at the test kitchen, and no one was in it. There simply is no way anyone could have gotten in or out of it without me hearing. Even if you have a key card, it omits a loud beep when opening the door. Other guards have experienced the same occurrence. The light turns itself on, even though it's a manual light. Another story I have from this facility takes place back before the virus, when we had to do our foot patrols. The facility, as I mentioned, is pretty large. Completing a foot patrol, scanning buttons so they know you're not sitting on your ass and not patrolling, takes about 40 minutes if you're fast. You go to every square inch of the building before it's over. Around 2 a.m., I began my internal patrol of the building. This is around December, so it's cold as fuck. I was walking through the warehouse and noticed it was much colder than I was used to it being, and I've been there through snow and ice. As I'm rounding a large shelf, I hear a scream that sounded very human and very brief. Once again, I'm the only person supposed to be in the facility. I quickly run around the warehouse with my flashlight, looking anywhere and everywhere I can, finding nothing. After the scream, I didn't hear any running or anything at all. I cut my patrol early to go and check the camera feed in the guard office to find every single camera was unreachable. This instantly scared me, because what if something was going to head to the office and I didn't see it? I stayed in the office, paranoid, and waiting for the cameras to come back. Slowly they began to populate again, with the warehouse cameras showing up last. I went to locate the time that I heard the scream, and looking at all of the cameras while trying to locate myself on the many cameras, there are a lot of cameras, most just pointing at walls and useless shit. I finally found myself on my patrol in the saved CCTV footage. At the time I heard the scream, I'm seen on the camera turning around startled and then running off, which right after, all of the cameras shut off. Looking through all of the cameras, I couldn't find a source for what I heard. This always freaked me out when I came back to this facility and thought about it. No other guards take this contract with this facility, and I always wondered why, seeing as how all you have to do is just watch the place, and there's no complex post order. Just do a foot patrol, and then hang out for a few hours doing whatever you want. Every time the company establishes a regular guard for the place, they ask to be reassigned less than a week after. So far, I'm the only one who's been consistent, the staff have told me. Don't have many other experiences, but felt like these ones were pretty fucking spooky and worth talking about.
Security guard for private morgue a couple years back has about 50 bodies at any one time. 18 euros per hour. Easy money. Boring as shit. 2:50 a.m. in the morning watching a film, I think it was Thor, and drinking a cup of tea. Massive fucking crash out of nowhere. Shit myself due to the quietness. Tea goes everywhere. Grab my torch and baton and head towards the noise, where I notice a door is wide open and some cabinets are toppled out. What the fuck? Notice that it looks like someone was standing at the corner hallway, but might just be my imagination. Due to the time regardless, say, "Is anyone there? Come out now and you won't get in trouble for trespassing." Get no response. Pick the cabinets up, put them behind the door, and close it once again, locking it with my skeleton key. Have a quick look at the corner hallway before heading back to the front desk. Sit back down at around 3:15 a.m., wiping up the cold spilt tea. 1 hour goes by, it's close to 4:20 a.m. My shift is over in a little under 3 hours. Still pitch black, then I hear it. A fucking scream emanating from that hallway I checked. I panic like a motherfucker. Grab my torch, my baton is out, and got a knife in my pocket anyway for backup. Charge into hallway, notice the double doors at the end are open, as are 2 side rooms, despite them being locked the hour before. 2 lights are blown out. Run back to front desk checking CCTV. Doors just blow open when that scream emanates. Don't know what to do. Start thinking of all paranormal shit. Breathing rapidly. Decide to fuck it and head back to the hallway. Lock the 2 doors in the hallway. Head towards the double door slowly. That's where I saw it. A body from the morgue was on the floor along with body parts. I'm nearly gagging. This fucking woman's scream sounds again. I nope.av the fuck out of there. Run straight to front desk. Auto-ring the police. No answer, which is 100% not possible. Hear laughing and footsteps from the hallway I came from. Guttural scream from the hallway oppose that one. Start praying under my breath. Grab my knife. Fuck the baton. Auto-ring police again. Still no answer. Literally shaking like a bitch right now. Start shouting, "I'm a son of God, begone beasts." Trying to remember anything that annoys ghosts and shit. I'm backing up towards the front doors at this point with my pass card ready in my left hand. Doors unlock and they open automatically. Fall outside. Call police. It works. It's now around 5:15 or 5:20 a.m. or something. Dawn is slowly coming. They respond within 8 minutes or so. Tell them everything. They don't believe me, but check it out anyway. Get checked for alcohol all clean. Need drug test when I get to station. They bring me in to check cameras. No footage for over 2 hours. They all went down around the time the first noise happened. No bodies or body parts in hallway. No broken lights. No evidence of anyone being there but me. Owner gets called in. Basically waves it off as prank by a bored guard. Taken to police station for questioning. I'm there for close to 3 hours for statements. Nothing they can do as no crime took place, but caution me for wasting police time. Go back a day later, tell the owner I quit, and give him back the pass card, uniform, and baton. He says, "You should have sated them. They are quiet then," without even looking at me filling in some paperwork. Nope.avy, and walk out. Never again. Creepiest thing that has happened to me. I'm getting shivers remembering it. I know what I saw and heard. I've guarded morgues before that one, but never experienced anything like that.
Well, since we're doing Greentext spoops, be working as security guard, armed, taser, baton, the works. Have to make my bones in the company by doing overnight patrol route. Catch the route no one ever wants. Includes one haunted apartment building, abandoned shopping center, and a fun little drive through a privately owned canyon in the foothills. Being the fucking new guy, nobody warns me about any of this stuff. Just post orders, car, and get a move on. Get to apartment building and grab keys to turn off elevator and lock laundry room, etc. Place is known locally for suicides, murders, and is really old. On ground floor, lock up laundry room at the end of a creepy hallway. No other doors. Look down the hall, real quick, and turn back. Hello. Holy hell, where did you come from? Olive-skinned girl about 18 to 20, long dark hair, wearing what I can only describe as a long gray pillowcase with holes for head and arms cut. Barefoot. Smiles. So beautiful and also sad. Recover my composure and grin with a good officer friendly, "Good evening, ma'am." Turn my head and shake the doorknob for the laundry room, and as I turn back to exchange further pleasantries. Gone. Only door from hallway is laundry room I just locked. Only way out is past me down a 30 to 40-foot hallway and back out into the building foyer. What to myself a second then? Nope. Back down the hall. Make it to foyer and call elevator ride to top before turning it off and locking it. Client's rules, not mine. Clunker even had one of those old-timey accordion gates inside. Turn to start walking down the hallway to stairwell. Door at far end of hallway is open. Not wide open, just enough to see inside. Remember client note to lock door if ever found open. Grumble, grumble, born in a barn. Stick my head in doorway to make sure room is empty before closing. Room is bare, hardwood floor, faded wallpaper. Single small window lets moonlight in. Take a step into the room cause I feel like someone is in there. Take another step in, grab out flashlight. Literally a small studio with a single window, nothing else. What the fucking all over, cause I never feel like this. Look up at ceiling and see cross beam of building cutting across the room. As I stare up at it, sudden tightening feeling on my throat. Wave of overwhelming despair crushes my chest. Feel like a rope is constricting my airway. Room suddenly rushes into an icy cold. Stumble backward, catch my heel on door frame, and land on my ass out in the hallway. Door which I had opened wide to look into room slams shut. Lock clicks. Fuck no. Spiral down all 5 flights of stairs and out onto street before I know it. Turn to look up at building. Dark-haired girl from laundry hallway is looking down at me with that smile from top floor room, backlit by a lamp. Turns away from the window. Light goes out. It took me an hour and half a pack of cigarettes to marshal myself into driving again. Talked to my friend in the company afterward, and he apologized. Said he would have warned me if he knew I got that route. All the old-timers know not to check the room. Said if it does get found open, there was a stick with a hook on it in a closet down the hall to pull the door closed. No one ever tries to lock it. Fuck me. On that note, few weeks later have to do patrol through privately owned canyon. Got warned by work bro about this one. Firearm required patrol hit. Doesn't make sense. Road through canyon comes off suburban street. Canyon entry blocked to public by chain link fence and massive steel gate. Literally 20-foot tall, 40-foot wide, 3-inch thick steel gate. Around the office is referred to as the Jurassic Park account. Client demands armed guard patrol up to dead end in road and back down. Issues cited being reports of prowlers, suspicious noises, and transients. No shit. Briefing papers literally had transients in quotes. Should have known then. So fucking new guy, me, goes to account. Opens chain link and drives in. Shuts chain link. Muscle open Jurassic Park gate. Start driving up into canyon. Mind you, it's 0-100 pitch black. Driving 5 miles per hour with car lit up like I'm signaling to space. Cliffs on one side, rock face on other. Opens to area with scrub woods on one side. Stop a moment before realizing shape up ahead is a deer. Tunnel. Like the tunnel everyone uses in Bunnyman creepypasta. Drive into tunnel, handgun in lap at this point. Fuck. Drive out and think I hear scuffle from round the bend in the road ahead. Twigs snapping, leaves rustling along the road next to car. Turn spotlight towards weird shadow that pops out a moment. Oh, my holy, silly, sweet fucking shit. I'm praying as hard as I can to whatever fluffy and merciful deity will listen, please. B. Dear. 404. File not found, secure. The rictus visage of a humanoid, gray skin, beady eyes, no clothing, skeletal almost. Head snaps up and shields its eyes from spotlight before yanking broken deer carcass behind tree. Open door, gun pointed, screaming for it to come out. Silence. Fuck. Get back in car, drive down to Jurassic Park gate and call partner. Partner calls boss. Boss calls me an idiot and calls client. Client demands my number from boss and calls me, has me explain. Gets really excited and tells me to lock Jurassic Park gate and fuck off most expeditiously, whatever you say. Client put phone down but doesn't hang up right away. Hear yelling that the guard company found it, near the tunnel. Click. At the end of that month, client closed the contract and paid out remaining fees and breach penalties like it was nothing. I ended up signing an NDA and getting a $500 bonus. And called an idiot by my boss again. Went driving with work buddy to find Jurassic Park gate again about 6 months ago. MFW, we pulled up and gate is gone, chain link fence is gone, and road is open. Cuts all the way from one road up through tunnel and down into another neighborhood. God fucking damn it, that job sucked. Okay. Doozy story. Driving patrol route about 2 to 3 months after Jurassic Park account incident. Get call from work buddy. Says he's working other route that night and got call from boss. That alarm is going off at abandoned strip mall we service. Fug it, patrol driving sucks, I'm rolling. Get there just after buddy. Let's call him Tiny, completely for irony's sake. Tiny waits for me to hop out of car and unlocks the gate. Fucking place must have had a space theme or something when they designed it. All white facade, curves, and angles. 2-story plaza with stairs, elevator, walkway. Anyway, we go around, pull a couple doors, nothing's looking broken. Suddenly my phone rings, gives us both a start. It's the boss. Literally yells, "What the fuck did you do?" Soon as I pick up. Pulled on doors, boss honest. He goes into tirade about client calling him, saying fire alarm is on, break-in alarm is triggered from all sensors, an elevator entrapment alarm is going off on his setup at home. Site is dead quiet. Work buddy gets on the phone and tells boss to get off my back. Nothing's going on. Client system must be fucked. Hands me back phone and boss says he don't give a fuck. If anything is broken, I'm fired. Hangs up on me. I start taking pictures as work buddy opens security breaker closet. Elevator at the end of walkway dings and opens. Pitch black inside the elevator car. Both shine lights into car. Doesn't break the dark. Can't even see the back of car. Tiny draws gun, walks toward elevator with it hanging down by his leg. I say his name real slow with a question mark at the end as I draw too. Just as he's about to step into the black void where elevator car should be. Cell phone rings again and he snaps out of whatever funk, pull, fugue state he was in. Literally jumps 3 feet in the air and yells, "Nya!" in shock. Retreats away from elevator pointing gun. Elevator doors slam shut and elevator dings. Display showing it's descending to basement. Tiny looks pissed and says, "That thing tried to eat me." Waves for me to follow and runs downstairs to basement. Elevator is waiting. Doors closed. Hits the open button and steps back, gun leveled. Doors ding, open, and black, gaping maw that sucks up our flashlights. I'm at nope factor 10 and shaking like a leaf. Tiny pulls a chem light stick out of his thigh pouch. Don't ask. Dude carried a knife, lighter, chem lights, tourniquet, first aid kit, and extra magazine in this rig he had on his thigh. Total mall ninja until he produced exactly what you needed every time. Cracks it, gives it a shake, and underhands it in. No thud from hitting back wall, nothing. Light just disappears. Elevator dings and doors shut again. Tiny races over and slaps the button to call it open again, then take his stance again. Ding, doors roll open. Fluorescent lit, dark wood paneling, handrails, white tile floor. Elevator car greets us. I exhales. What in the fuck? Tiny puts his gun away and scratches his head. He's beyond his depth as we peek our heads in. I look up and spot a small camera in the corner and suggest looking at the tapes. Might want to clarify one point. When the lights came back in the elevator car, the chem light was not there. We never found it after. Mosey our way back up to level 2 and take a look at CCTV display. This is where it gets even weirder. Shows us walking around until elevator doors open. Feed from inside elevator cuts to static just before doors open. Comes back on later, probably when they opened again with everything back to normal. Camera pointed down hallway, just shows me facing toward elevator with security room door open behind me. Camera pointed at elevator area, shows doors open on blackness, but angle is tight enough that you can't see Tiny. No camera pointed at elevator in basement. Tiny suggests I back up footage further. Nothing's all over. Camera inside elevator cuts out here and here, but nothing else. Suddenly remember phone call that saved Tiny's ass. Check cell phone. Missed call from boss, who when called back, call me an idiot. We lock up, and Tiny goes to make report to client via email. Elevator dings and doors open on inky blankness. Holy fucking nope. Run back to cars, take off. Tiny files report that alarms triggered by coyote that got in through fence. Client buys the story. Every time there's an alarm after that, we yank the gates, pull the doors, and then hightail it. Long as the fucking place didn't burn down, we didn't care. Client demoed the place the same year and built shitty apartments on the site. Seriously though, fuck that job.
Work in a big 30-floor office building on the 13th floor. I come in just before 6 a.m. each morning. Know the security guard Alex, who works overnights from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., staying late one night due to an important assignment that needs to be done ASAP. It's 9 p.m., tired after a 15-hour day. Go to take a piss before I wrap stuff up. Hear some weird sound in a stall like groaning. You okay there, buddy? Sound stops. Whatever, take my piss and go back to my office. Office has your generic wooden door in the hallway, but we have a biometric glass door inside past the wooden doors. Go and pack my stuff up. Think I hear someone trying to open the glass door. Nah, can't be. Security and the cleaners have access cards. Then I hear the distinct tapping on glass sound. Slowly walk to the door. In between the taps I can hear the same groaning from the bathroom. Too much of a pussy to peek around the corner to see who's at the glass door. There's a back exit to the hallway, but I don't want to wait around at the elevators with the possibility of whoever is at the door hearing. The two main staircases are also out in the hallway, but we have access to the building's internal staircase from my office. Take it down to the lobby. Alex is there. Explain the situation. I'll check it out anon. Come in right before 6 a.m. the next day, as usual. Going to ask Alex what he found. Alex isn't there. It's another security guard at the desk. Ask, where's Alex? Alex called during his shift that he's quitting and leaving immediately. Not sure I want to know what he saw that spooked him enough to quit on the spot, but I don't stay at work that late anymore.
Be night shift security guard, work in a nice office building in a nice neighborhood. Always just me and one other guard in the entire building. Literally no crime, no problems. Basically just fuck around on the internet all night. Only have cameras on first floor and parking lot, so if you're on any other floor, you can do whatever. It's literally the cushiest job ever. They've got huge flat screen TVs, Wi-Fi, a nice gym, expensive coffee machines, and tons of other shit. Every single door is locked by key card, so the building is extremely secure. Just started shift. Go to floor 2. Notice someone left a light on in the south wing. A lot of lights here are motion activated, but this one just uses a light switch. Happens sometimes, so I just turn it off and go back to doing a quick patrol so I can get back to fucking around on the internet. Finish that up, eventually the other security guard does a patrol. It's about 2 hours after my shift started, and I go on another patrol to stretch my legs. Go to floor 2, south wing. A motion sensing light is on, right next to the light switch I turned off 2 hours ago, which is still off. The motion sensing lights are only supposed to stay on for 15 minutes. Me and the other guard had been sitting next to each other for the last hour. I go back to the security room to tell the other guard about it and ask if he knows what's up with it. He says that when he was there, the light switch was on and he turned it off himself. I'm 100% sure that I'd already turned it off. He says he hasn't seen or heard anything, but since there's no security cameras on floor 2, we have no idea what, if anything, could have activated the light. I decide to go back up to floor 2 to check it out again, and I tell the other guard that if he doesn't hear from me soon, to call my cell phone. Our security company never bothered to issue us radios. Go back up to floor 2. The light switch is back in the on position, motion sensing light still on. At this point, I'm genuinely concerned. Consider just running downstairs and calling the cops. I figure that if it turns out to be nothing, I'd look like a huge fat. Security guard calls police because a light switch was in the wrong position, decide to check out more of the south wing. I suddenly hear a loud banging noise. I jump a bit and start to freak out. Then I remember that when the AC comes on, it makes a loud banging noise. Calm down and check out the rest of the wing. Only takes another 2 to 3 minutes. No signs of intruders. All doors locked tight, nothing broken or missing. Look at my watch and see that I've been at this for about 20 minutes now. Start wondering why the other guard hasn't called me yet. I lean up against an air vent and take out my phone. Start going through my contacts list to call him myself. Hang on a second, the air vent isn't blowing any air. Nope, call the other guard's phone. No answer. Fuck. Lock myself in an office, call 911. I tell the dispatcher what happened, and he says the cops are coming, asks where I am, and I tell him, ask if the police will be able to get into the building themselves. Shit. All doors are locked. Run through the building, down to the main entrance, and run outside. Wait for the cops outside while still on the phone with 911. Cops get there. I let them in and bring them to the security room. No sign of the other guard at all. The computer that displays the security cameras is turned off. Well, fuck. Give each of the cops one of the spare security cards so they can search the building. They find no trace of the other guard in the building. His car is still parked in the parking lot. He's still missing to this day.
Years ago, I was a student using the GI Bill. I was older. Got a very nice work study as a security guard with the university. Most of the guards were older guys trying to get into the campus police force. Was told I would get an odd assignment because of my military background, the botany/biology department greenhouses complex. Meh. Okay. Was told to read the post instructions carefully and obey them. The complex was outside radio range, before cell phones, and only one phone in. The gates to the complex were opened by remote. If the gates were open, I was to leave and call the police from a truck stop miles away. If I saw anyone on the grounds as I drove in, I was to leave and call the police from the truck stop. All doors were to be shut and locked. I was to drive the car up to a side door where I could see the alarm panel. If, and only if, the panel confirmed all doors were shut and locked, could I go in. Otherwise, leave and call the police. If the panel was all green, I was to park the patrol car so it blocked the side entrance. It was recessed. Lock the other car doors, get out, unlock the side door, lock and close the car door I had left, enter and reset the alarm. If I saw anyone at any time, I was to leave immediately and get to the car and call the cops from the truck stop. I thought the instructions were weird, but whatever. The rest of the instructions said I was to call the office every even hour from the one phone. Pretty common since they did all sorts of experiments. If a greenhouse had a sign on it, I was to not enter it. I was to not leave the building except to flee or at the end of my shift. No one except the police or guards I personally knew were from the group could be let in. I cover this place on a 10-hour shift from 10 p.m. until 8 a.m. Friday through Sunday nights. The place is big and sprawling with dozens of greenhouses connected by doors or almost tunnels in a sort of maze. Only the roofs are clear glass. The sides are this odd translucent plastic stuff you can almost see through. Also has a research office/lab building that is fucking freaky as hell. All sorts of machines humming and clicking, and all the east-west corridors have mirrors at the end, so as I walk around I keep catching movement out of the corner of my eye. Luckily, I just have to check the labs at the very beginning and end to make sure the rooms are locked and lock them if they are not. Rest of the time, I am just supposed to wander around the greenhouses and make sure there are no fires or leaks. In the middle of the greenhouses is a big geodesic dome-heated greenhouse. It is amazing. It has trees, grass, flowers, a little waterfall, and pond water feature. There are a few birds that got inside there, a couple frogs, and even crickets. By the third week, I am in the habit of eating my lunch sitting by the little pond. I remember very clearly the third weekend it started snowing, hard, and I sat in the dome eating a chicken salad sandwich watching the snow as I listened to crickets. I had no idea why the instructions were so grim/extreme. The next weekend, though, something happened. I finished my shift, got my stuff together, and set the alarm so I had 2 minutes to leave. I left, shut the locked door, unlocked the car, got in, etc., just like the instructions, and started to leave. As I backed up, I saw tracks in the snow. It was still pretty dark, and the lights from the exterior weren't the best, but it looked like footprints in the snow, like someone had walked around the outside of the car, trying to get past it to the door. I looked around but didn't see anyone. The tracks looked like they came from the edge of the fence, straight to the car, back and forth 10 or 12 times, then off to circle the greenhouses. The light was bad, but the footprints looked like they were of bare feet. I got the hell out of there. By the time I got to the truck stop, though, I had calmed down and figured I hadn't actually seen anyone. And with the gate closed, etc., it might have just been my supervisor checking to see if I was doing my job right. I didn't want the hassle of the cops. But when I got to the office, I told my supervisor and the manager what I had seen and explained why I didn't call. They were real still, asked if I was okay, and told me that if it happened again, I was to call the cops. Couple days later, my supervisor calls me on a day off and asks me to grab a beer with him. Workplace bonding, sure. Meet him that evening, have a few beers. He is obviously here for serious business. I'm worried I am being downsized or something. Finally, he starts to tell me the story about botany, what we called the location. About 12 years before, the uni stopped letting people work in the building after dark. Insurance reasons, they said. The rumor was people kept seeing and hearing odd things at night. After a huge leak, the uni put security in the building full-time about 8 years before. Then 6 years before a guard vanished. Now, guys who work in security quit by not showing up all the time. And sometimes they quit by just leaving work. But they don't leave behind the car that got them there and their stuff in the building usually. The new guard talked about hearing noises outside and tapping on windows and footprints in the snow. Then he quit because he wouldn't go back. Then 2 years later, another guard vanished. Left behind the patrol car, his keys, and a wife. The uni didn't want to spend the money for 2 guards, and it was so far away that the supervisors couldn't visit all the time. So they came up with strict rules. The new guards would last a month or 2, then the tapping and noises and stuff would scare them off. Then 2 years before I started, a guard died. He was found outside one of the emergency exits, seemingly beaten to death. They figure he was new, heard the noises, and went to check it out. Since then, they had rotated guys through a few weeks at a time, but everyone who knew the story thought botany was a punishment assignment. But for 2 years, no one had seen or heard odd things. So when I started, a combat vet, they figured they'd put me out there. Then I saw footprints. He was so serious, I didn't have the heart to ask if he was fucking with me, so I called other guys from the office. They all knew the story, all swore it was true. Some talked about seeing shadows through the greenhouse walls, or hearing tapping at the windows of the lab offices as they walked past, or finding their stuff moved that they left behind when they patrolled. So I called the work study office and took a different position. Fast forward 5 years, I've got my degree. Having lunch when, boom, my old supervisor walks in. He's a cop now with the city, not the uni. I say hi, we catch up a little. After about 10 minutes, apologize for quitting with no notice. He got real still. Said it was okay, they hired a new guy right away, and they only patrolled botany for about 2 more months. Then the uni decided to not patrol it anymore. They just installed a bunch of machinery to shut off the water if there was a leak. Said I should have stayed. No, Anon, they installed all that stuff for a reason. We put the new guy out there on botany. The third weekend he didn't come back to the office, so we went out there. The alarms were still on, the car was parked where it was supposed to be, everything looked like it should, but he wasn't there. All we found was his lunch in the dome by the pond.